And if you guys want to test something for me, you can go up to my badge up there, and you can click the little live button. And there's a new feature that I'm using called Sirenscape. And it's got a plugin for Discord where it will allow us to stream sound that you guys can hear, and I can hear, and the stream can hear. So it's a application that's built around tabletop gaming. So everything is genre specific. This is a piece of music called combat music in Sirenscape. And welcome to pre-show, everybody. You should be hearing some music from Sirenscape, battle music from the classic adventure sound set of Sirenscape. We will be going live at the bottom, or we will be starting our game at the bottom of the hour. Players, how are you guys doing this evening?
Good.
Doing good.
Can you hear that music? How is the sound level of that music? I was testing it on the stream earlier, or testing it on the streaming computer earlier, and I had to turn it up to where it was really pretty loud in my headphones to have it come across at a decent volume on the stream. So I'm not quite sure how it's going to sound to you guys. Jason and I are hearing a lot of feedback.
Yeah, let me try and fix that here. Sorry.
I can hear you all speaking, but on my iPhone, which I'm using as the mic and Discord device, I don't hear anything in the background. I've got Roll20 on my laptop, so I don't know if that makes any difference.
Okay. In Discord, can you see the in the voice channel?
Yeah, I'm watching the Sirenscape. I'm in your.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Right, so I can see you move the bottom little bar when you moved it.
Oh, okay. All right. But you're not hearing the music.
Correct.
I am.
I'm hearing it now. I wasn't before.
Okay. So I have to turn it up fairly loud.
I can hear it. I hear it in the background a little bit now.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because on Thursday night, I was using a different set, a different sound set, and it was coming through pretty well for everybody. I haven't gone back and listened to the stream yet from Thursday. So I'll have to see how that comes across. But now it's up loud enough that I feel like I kind of have to shout to be heard over it because of how loud it is in my ears. And
You sound normal to me.
Yeah.
I don't hear the music at all, and you are coming through fine.
Okay. I'm going to put it up to as loud as it can go for about 30 seconds and see if everybody hears it at that point.
I can hear it.
I can hear it better when I go into the options on the top right, the three dots on my Discord image when I'm in your Syringescape, and I changed the output volume up high.
Oh, okay. All right. So maybe that's it. All right, I'm going to turn it down because I don't want to listen to it that loud the whole session. It might be a nice little background on the stream, and it might not be. And if it gets too loud or too annoying for you guys, you can individually pop into and out of that stream as you wish. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and turn this completely off because there's something I want to do momentarily. Welcome everybody to an only slightly delayed Saturday night Greyhawk session. We are on session 18 of our game, and the section finds the party within the Gnarley Forest. They are traveling on their way from their base of sorts, which is the old moat house, and they are on their way to the ruins of the Temple of Elemental Evil, where they will be looking to see what they can find. It would help if I had on my DM screen, if I had the Roll20 up, and then I will go and I will get the bookmarks up. Okay, wonderful. And I'll get the adventure open. Yeah, I spent so much time playing around with Syrinscape today that I did not get some of the other things open. All right. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. I don't need that. All right. So last time we were here, you guys were at your camp, and I believe that we had you had gone through the night, and it was morning was breaking, and you were getting ready to spend some time in the camp and then head out to explore along the route towards the point on the map where it says evil lurks here. And for those of you who are listening to the Discord and for the chat, you may be hearing the Syrinscape sounds of the forest playing in the background now, or you may not be. So this is largely going to be an experiment this evening, seeing how the sounds all work. All right, so I think you guys had decided you were going to leave one of the Gnolls, the Gnoll who has animal handling, here at the camp to watch the horse. And then the rest of you were going to begin making your way towards the ruins. Is that correct?
Was it 2 Gnolls and the 2 archers and the captain guy, or are they coming with us? I forget.
Well, that's up to you.
I thought we were going to leave two behind. That way.
That's right. Nobody, not leave anybody by themselves. So leave 2 gnolls behind, and then take 2 gnolls and the mercenaries with you, or did you want to leave the mercenaries behind as well?
I prefer not to leave. Like I trust the one guy some because we've gone through quite a bit talking with him, and seems like he's a upright mercenary. But probably better not to leave the 2 gnolls outnumbered. So maybe the 2 gnolls and maybe the 2 archers guarding the camp, and the 2 gnolls patrolling around, and bring the captain with us.
Well, that sounds fine to me.
Okay, so the people going to the camp are the party, the captain, and is that it? And all the gnolls and the other mercenaries?
7 of the 9 gnolls.
Oh, 7 of the 9 gnolls are coming with you.
So the gnoll chief, the remaining gnolls, all except for 2, the animal handling gnoll, the one of his friends to help keep him safe, and the 2 ranged people, the crossbow and the archer from the mercenaries, who will have a job of being on guard, taking turn guarding and helping guard the camp. So we'll have 4 NPCs guarding the camp, and then
everybody else is heading. Okay, all right, sounds good. All right, that's an easier way of breaking it up. 4 at the camp, everybody else heading inland. All right. Then in that case, I need to go over here, and I need to.
We also clarified that by now, pretty much everyone either had first aid or was healed.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay, so as you guys are going along, make some, what do you say, observation is intelligence in this edition. So go ahead and make some intelligence checks for me, unless anybody has the observation non-weapon proficiency. Oh, wow. 2 nat 1s. And one of those is Quint. Okay, so far everybody is.
Nico knows he's in the woods.
Well, you match, which is a success.
But I'm from the I'm in a grant narratively that he's probably not the most wood-wise person.
Well, and your role reflects that. You just barely got it, whereas everybody else really succeeded well. I'm going to say that Talon and Quint, you notice it only slightly before Archimedes does, but you see some movement off in the forest, and Quint, you would swear that there is a familiar-looking little curious canine face over there that's looking in your direction, kind of got that head tilted. And from the coloration of the fur, you recognize a wolf.
I say I have my fingers up above my head and do little ears.
All right. So assuming it's probably one of those wolves we met earlier. I mean, I'll try and motion and let the other party members know that there's something over there without making a lot of noise, and just kind of do it as best as I can.
Yeah, Talon, you and Archimedes both, when he starts pointing in that direction, you guys both recognize, oh yeah, there's at least one wolf over there, and then from the movement, you guys can tell it's several animals.
Can we keep them?
It's more
Well, I'd be
to
okay with that, but
If you said that out loud, Nico's going to ask, do wolves follow gods? Because playing out,
I'm sure they follow God just as much as anybody would follow an imaginary being. So sure.
Can I walk slowly toward them to see how they react, and if I can maybe determine if they're looking at us or if they're trying to avoid something else in the area?
Okay. Yeah. What is your proficiency that you're using for this? Because we had.
I could use animal lore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. No.
The best you can tell, they're looking in your direction, so they're probably looking at you. But it's that's just a guess.
Sure.
You're not confident.
I don't think this time we want to bang on shields and make a whole bunch of noise to try and scare them away. I don't think that's a good idea this time.
Okay. What was it you did last time? You did something to try to persuade them, or
I have that. Well,
Yeah, did you have animal?
Natural animal empathy.
right? There you go.
Let me find that here.
Yeah, it changed. It's basically animal handling or whatever, but they changed the name of it from edition to edition.
They had to make a save versus, I want to say it was Rod.
Right.
I passed it.
Right, so let me see.
Yeah, it's on page 42 of the player's
handbook.
Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
save versus, I just lost it. Yeah, save versus Rod to resist my attempts to be nice to him.
Okay. Okay. All right. They look at you, and as you step a little bit closer, their heads come up a little bit, and their tails come up a bit and start wagging. And now you can see that there's about 6 of them, but they'll let you get maybe 50 feet from them, but then if you start moving any closer, they just start to creep back a little bit.
Okay.
So they're definitely not hostile at this point, but they're not eager to come and eat kibbles out of your hands.
Right. Maybe we can just we can put a little food down for them to distract them. We can go on our way, and maybe one of the gnolls can kind of hang back and keep an eye on them and just make sure that they're not gonna. It doesn't sound like they would double back on us and attack us from the rear, but we can maybe have one of the gnolls just kind of keep an eye on it to make sure that doesn't happen.
And one of the gnolls will smile, and he will pull up a very stained and kind of bulging leather sack, and he will walk about 10 feet away from the group, and he opens that sack, and when he opens it, you all just smell this. It's this awful stench, like there's uncured raw meat that's in there, that's been in there for I don't know how long, without any refrigeration or curing or anything like that. Yeah. And he just dips in and pulls out what looks like, an organ, and then it's part of some entrails, and he just drops it there on the ground. And then he ties the sack back up, and after he ties the sack back up, he starts licking off of his hand that was rooting around in the bag, and his little Gnoll tongue is just like smacking his lips.
Well, there goes the sausage.
Yeah, I do too.
And
it's kind of like,
It was looking good.
Yeah, and then he turns around and gives you guys a big toothy grin. He says, think wolves were like.
Uh-huh.
I'll give him like a thumbs up, or something he'll understand as good job, and we can move on their way.
And surprisingly, and perhaps when you think about it, for predatory creatures like gnolls, it may not be all that surprising, but when he cinches that sack up and closes it, you can't smell that rank smell of rotting meat anymore. Which, if you're hunting and you're out all the time, that would be like a dead giveaway to anything, something being there. And for whatever it is, the Gnoll ingenuity, they've figured out how to keep it. Go ahead.
That was a great pun, by the way. Dead giveaway.
Ba-dum-bum. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to get our handy dandy little measuring tool here. Okay, so we have you guys have approximately 3 miles, and following this little game trail, the game trail is pretty well marked out, and it's not there's nothing what am I trying to say? There's nothing, it doesn't meander too much, so it's fairly straight. So 3 miles is more or less 3 miles. So you guys walking carefully and being quiet and whatnot, it takes you maybe 90 minutes to traverse that distance, and the wolves are basically the only thing you see between here and there, until you begin to come upon the clearing where the ruins are. Okay, so as you get closer, you notice that the foliage and the vegetation of the forest takes on a different character. What has been a lush, green, healthy forest starts to be disrupted in places. Spots that have rank weeds, thistles, burrs, thorns, and nettles. There's evidence that some foot and animal traffic has been using this game trail, but it's not a busy thoroughfare. As you get closer to the area where you think you're going to find the ruins, the vegetation becomes disconcerting. Dead trees appear occasionally that have a skeletal appearance. Scrub growth is twisted and unnaturally colored. And all of the undergrowth takes on an unhealthy and sickly looking, or conversely, an exceptionally robust and disgusting appearance. And eventually, as you get to a clearing, you can see some ruins ahead. The ruins of the temple's outer work appear as dark and overgrown mounds of gray rubble and blackish weeds. Skulls and bones of humans and humanoids gleam white here and there among the weeds. A grove of some oddly stunted and unhealthy-looking usk trees still grows along the northern end of a former temple compound, and a stump of a tower juts up from the northeast corner of the shattered wall. The leprous gray temple, however, stands intact, its arch buttresses somehow obscene with their growth of climbing vegetation. Everything surrounding this place is disgusting. The myriad leering faces and twisting, contorting forms, writhing and posturing on every wall of the temple seem to jape at the obscenities they depict. The growth in the compound is rank and noisome. Thorns clutch, burrs stick, and crushed stems either emit foul stench or raise angry wheels on exposed flesh. Worst of all, a sense of foreboding seems to surround the place. It hangs over the whole area. It's something that's smothering, clinging, and almost tangible, like a cloud of vileness and horror. Sounds of insects seem distorted, either muffled and shrill, or unnaturally loud and grating.
Min
So
will
what do you-
start wrinkling up her nose and like starting to move a little closer to Nico now and then, just kind of looking around. She kind of nervously tries to chuckle and goes, "This place is, there's just not something right about this place."
Talon looks at y'all and says, "This is what magic gets you."
Hey, I don't make anything like this.
We'll pray to Clang Adden that we can cleanse such a place someday.
Just doesn't feel right, guys. There's something wrong. Really, really wrong here. It's not natural.
Quint would agree with that.
I have a bad feeling about this.
We should let the Gnolls know that they should have their bows out and like be sneaky and be ready to do a fighting retreat if something goes wrong. But I don't know how to speak Gnoll, so I'll whisper that to well, Arcturus isn't here, so I'll whisper it to one of the other people in our group that speaks Gnoll, or to the Gnoll chief if he's close by me.
sec. I got my hands full. Otherwise, I'd look to. I think I speak Gnoll, but give me a sec.
I believe you did last time and the time before.
Yeah. Okay, so if I don't speak Gnoll for some stupid reason, I'll retract it. But I'm gonna say for right now, I speak Gnoll. So I will kind of look at them and.
I whisper to pass the word because we don't want to be yelling right now.
Yeah. So I go over to one of those that seems to still hover around me like, I'm going to bite somebody's head, clean off or something as a witch, and will whisper to him that, I this place gives me the creeps, and they were saying that you might want to have the archers pull out your bows and stuff so that you can, be prepared just in case. Might want to pass the word.
Do we have any idea how much area this, for lack of a better word, evil growth is taken over? I know we just came up on it, but do we have any rough idea?
How much of an area? No, I don't think so. Okay, gosh darn it. I'm looking for something here that I need. There we go. There it is. Okay. Okay. So how large of an area? Well, the foreboding is not something that you feel or that you felt when you were in the forest itself. Okay. It was more something that seemed to come over you when you were as you got closer to this particular area.
Okay. Do we want to? So that's okay. I just, if it was a huge area or just, a couple dozen acres or something like that, is just.
It's probably this whole compound is maybe 4 or 5 acres, and the clearing is maybe as much as 8 or 10 acres. Okay. So as you get into the clearing or into the edge of the clearing is when you start feeling it. So it's probably localized to this area would be your best guess.
Okay.
Does anyone see anything, like any movement or people or monsters or anything?
Go ahead and make me an intelligence or observation check. Okay.
Time.
It's in terms of identifiable creatures. You don't see any identifiable creatures, but your eyes may be playing tricks on you.
I rolled a 1.
There are. Okay, so for everybody else, your eyes are playing tricks on you. You see darting movements out of the corner of your eye, just at the edge of vision. When you shift your gaze towards it, there's nothing there at all. You can't help but wonder who or what made the maze of narrow paths through the weedy courtyard. what sort of thing would wander here and there around this ghastly edifice of evil without shrieking and gibbering and going completely insane. The usual mundane sounds of your travel are accompanied only by the chorus of the winds, moaning through hundreds of temple apertures built to sing like doomed souls given over to the tender mercies of demonkind. Echoed by macabre croaks. And Min, you and Talon, you notice it before Talon does, but you are the first one, Min, to notice that those croaks are not indeed tricks of your ears, because you can see up at the top of the tower, there's scattered flapping, hopping, and leering ravens.
Wow.
That are up there.
But nothing else. I don't see anything else.
You don't see any creature. I mean, you have that same sensation. You think you see something out of the corner of your eye, and when you turn and you look, there's nothing there.
Okay.
And Talon, that's the same for you. It takes you a minute, but then you notice the shapes of the ravens up at the top of the tower as well.
Excuse me. Huh. Stupid.
But unless the two of them say anything, nobody else notices it.
I do, I'm like stupid birds. Making all the weird noises.
And when you hear Min muttering as you look up, now you see up at the top of the tower, there's ravens, kind of either on top of the walls or in the crenellations. They're up there at the top of the tower. There can be no doubt you have come to a place of ineffable evil. Still, it's most certainly a place for high adventure and untold treasures. It's time to ready your spells, draw your weapons, check your equipment, and set forth into the maze of peril that awaits you. Now, if that's not a Gary Gygax description, I don't know what is.
This is when I wish the Paladin had made it.
Yeah, I think he said he will be along, but he will be a bit late now.
He's going to make a dramatic entrance, I'm sure.
Now, one thing I want to do, I want to go ahead and take that down here. And put that there. And then I want to move the ribbon over here. And this is the area where you are. You're at the ruins of the tower. I'll point out what you see here. Obviously, you see the outside of the tower, and it looks like they're over in this area. It looks like there is an entryway of some sort to get to the tower. This appears to be part of a broken wall around the complex, and then and then just beyond this is just more of this scrub area that you are seeing. And the character of the sounds around you takes on a little bit of a different character. The sounds of the forest sort of fade away. Now you hear more just sort of the moaning of the wind and some strange echoes from time to time.
Do we maybe want to walk around the perimeter of maybe even the area of the forest that looks dead or corrupt, and maybe do like a full circle just to get one, a better lay of the land, and two, and make sure there's no surprises hiding out there anywhere? And we'd probably want to take it slow and carefully, but just maybe do a little scouting to avoid any potential surprises.
That sounds good, but I would recommend that Arjuris and Nico move a little bit further away from the tower as we're quietly moving around, because neither of us is really subtle.
Yeah, there'd be three of us because I'm in chainmail.
I still have a higher opinion of your subtlety than ours.
So Min kind of grins and then goes ahead and trying to use her former cat-like skills to try to be quiet.
Well, Talon goes, can't you just make it quiet again?
What?
He's talking to Nico.
If we can, you think we can make it all the way around in about 7 minutes? Sure.
The bad thing with that is, though, too, we wouldn't hear anything, he wouldn't hear anything in that, that bubble.
So if you want us to be in a little pocket of silence, I'm happy to do it, but it only lasts about 7 minutes.
So Min actually kind of looks around and goes, so what are we... We're just looking to see if there's anything out there that's not supposed to be there, or what? What am I looking for specifically?
Well, the other option would be just send Quint and the Gnolls to do the scouting. The rest of us stay here.
She kind of juts out her bottom lip, gives him a look. I can be sneaky. I used to be a cat person.
That's what you claim.
Huh?
That's fine. I mean, the Quint and the Gnolls and Min can kind of... It doesn't sound like it would take too terribly long to do, just... I'm not looking for any, like, hard details, but just, get an idea.
It's not a huge tower. It looks like we might be able to make it around in, like, about 7 minutes. And, like, the one group could move a little bit further away and make a slightly bigger circle, while the Gnolls and Quint are sneakier and stay to the edge. And, like, we could follow one of the Gnolls who, like, leads us and, like, keeps an eye on you all. And I'm sure we could do it in about 7 minutes, and we can be silent for that time. I'd rather not split up here if there's any major difference in, like, distance between us.
I think we're being overly cautious. When we cleared the moat house, we just walked in.
I was thinking about that. We have the cloaks with the eyes on it. We could just put on a bunch of those and walk straight up to the door with the Gnolls, and anybody in there is probably like, oh, a bunch of people wearing cloaks, and they've got evil Gnolls with them. They must be friends of ours.
So you would defile Clangadden by posing as one of these cultists?
I would bring the wrath of Clangadden down on anyone in any strategic means, because battles are not won by brute force, but by intelligent tactical advantage.
At this point in time, Min has started moving away and has started sneaking.
Nico went to college.
Say what?
Part of my backstory, Nico went to war school.
Gotcha.
Quint will walk around with Min if she's gonna move.
Yep. I'll go with y'all.
Sneak.
Okay.
We're still discussing whether it's a good idea. So I guess the heavy armor people are sticking behind, or are we following?
That's up to you guys.
I don't know who is anyone in heavy armor following?
Yes.
Yes. So then I guess we're all sticking together. Sneaky,
Yeah,
sneaky.
but we'll let them be up about what, 20 feet, 30 feet.
Yeah, we'll get a little bit extra back so that we're not like right up on the edge.
Okay.
So if they're doing a radius of X away from the tower, we're doing a radius of X plus 25 to 30 feet.
Okay. I'm making kind of a crude drawing here for you. To show you a little bit larger perspective of what you're dealing with as you're in this clearing. The tower that you guys see is on one corner of the wall. And yes, it's one of these things where it doesn't always line up with the way the large scale map is drawn, the way they make the individual maps. They say, "Oh, it's over this way." Let's see. Let's make that right there, and we'll make that right about there. Okay, so when you exit from the clearing, that tower area that you see is about like this. So that little circular area that you see, that is the tower that you're looking at. The large rectangle here is the outer walls, which are mostly intact, but falling down in some, well, not falling down, but crumbling in some places. There's no place that looks like there's a actual breach in the walls. And then rising up above the height of the walls, you can see the buttresses of the actual temple and the walls of the actual temple itself. So you guys are entering this clearing approximately somewhere over here. And then this is the area that you see around you or in front of you. So there's an entrance to the tower that's like here, although the map has it oriented a different way. And then from your vantage point, you see no breaks in the walls other than that tower, and you don't notice any other towers.
Oh, okay. It's just like a single corner tower.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
We going left or right?
yeah, you guys, if you guys want to do a circuit of this, do you want to do a circuit clockwise or counterclockwise?
In? Which way are you going?
Counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise. Okay. So, all right, heading along that way. Okay. Now, are you? I know Nico said something about how you guys were going to be in terms of the quiet people and the clanky people. Did you guys want to try to stick to the edge of the forest, or did you want to put on your cloaks and just sort of take a circuit around like you own the place? Or
I think we should put our cloaks on, if nothing more than to keep our clothes from getting full of brambles and torn up from briars and that other stuff.
Well, this part's the clearing, right? It's just
yeah, the brown part is more or less the clearing. Just consider that at kind of the corners of this, there's little bits of the forest.
So if they're going to be, I would say that they're going to. I would stay with the armored people at the edge of the lines or whatever forest. And if the sneaky people are going to go further in, so sneaky, and that would be probably what would need to happen.
Okay, Bob, you're breaking up a little bit. Like your microphone is, it's not quite clipping, but it's slight delay in picking up. So the beginnings and ends of your words are fading in and out.
Okay. How's this?
A little bit better. You may want to do, if you don't have it set up, you may want to set up push to talk.
Okay.
But it sounded like a good idea that the people in heavier armor will stay at the edge or a little bit back from the edge, maybe with one or two of the gnolls as like, will be the rear guard kind of, and the people who are in light armor or no armor can be a little bit closer and try to be like sneaking through the weeds and shadows.
Okay. And Min suggested wearing the cloaks that you got from the moat house with the eye on them. Is everybody going to wear those or not?
Sure.
I don't have a problem with that.
Here we go.
Okay, and then the sneaky people, just to make sure I know who's where, that would be Min, that would be Talon, that would be Quint. Anybody else? Any of the gnolls with the sneaky folks, or any of the mercenaries with the sneaky folks?
The only mercenary with us is the captain. He's in heavy armor, but he stays on the edge. And we'll explain that the cloaks came off of the cultists we killed, because we're going to disrupt and stop them from succeeding in their plans of evil. And then the gnolls, let the captain, the chief of the gnolls, do what he thinks best for positioning a couple of his gnolls around us in the woods to make sure we don't get ambushed, and could have like a couple of the really stealthy ones helping out with following Quint's lead.
Okay, he will nod. The Gnoll leader will go and quietly talk to his men, and 4 of them go off in 2 pairs, and they go off in opposite directions, and they get maybe 20 or 30 feet into the woods from the clearing, and they just set off at kind of a trot. And even as they trot through the undergrowth, they're just silent as ghosts as they go. So he'll then explain that they're going to circle and just kind of keep an eye out, and but he doesn't want any of them going by themselves, so he sent them off in 2 pairs. And then I'm trying to find the Okay, Burrell. Yeah, Burrell, the mercenary leader, he'll look at the cloak and he'll smile at Casca and he'll say, "Now you're thinking. This is good. This lot will probably think you're some of their group if they spy you." All right, nobody's going to say anything to him. All right, so he'll just begin.
I'll just nod. It's
Okay.
kind of like,
He'll start tying his cloak on. And so you guys the rest of you are putting your cloaks on, yes? No?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So as you sneaky folks do put your cloaks on, and you kind of are visible there, you notice that the sounds of those croaks from the ravens, they begin to get quieter.
what's up with those? She kind of whispers to the person that went with her, like, the crows are getting quiet. That's not maybe a good sign. It's like they're expecting something.
There might be an alarm system. Like, they get loud when people come by who aren't what they expect.
Possibly. But with as much noise as they were making to begin with, you would have thought somebody would have already come out by then now if they were an alarm system.
They probably hate Klingaden.
Oh, that makes me upset. So I whispered to Arcturus when he gets here to start looking around with his detect evil, but we'll wait until he gets here.
Okay.
For now, he's busy doing something else.
Communing with God. His God.
He found a resistant spot on his armor, and he's trying to buff it out. It annoys him that he can't buff it out. He's paying so much attention to that. All right, so as you guys begin to circle around Min, you notice that this wall is kind of irregular.
Which wall? Seeing it again?
The outer wall.
Okay.
So this wall here.
Gotcha.
The outer wall of the entire temple. So it's kind of irregular. There's no place that it is completely tumbled down, but there are definitely places in which it looks like it's eroded, and it's irregular erosion. And in some spots there's like a tumble of blocks at the bottom as though part of the wall has collapsed, but like I said, it's still solid. You can't see through the wall. It still exists. As you guys begin making your way around, you will notice when you get you will notice when you get over here, about right here, you see that there is a dusty path that leads to a small gate over in this area.
Gotcha. And I kind of point that out
right
a little
about
bit
there.
And
it looks like the gate there is closed, and this is a path that and a gate that looks like it's probably a footpath. The gate maybe is one that two people might be able to walk through side by side, but no more than that.
Gotcha.
Okay. Then as you continue going around, and once again, there's parts of the wall that have tumbled, but no place that the wall has fallen down completely. Irregular erosion. There's no other towers that you can see. Finally, when you get to the south side of the tower, when you get to the south side of the tower over here, you notice something else. You notice here that there is a slightly wider and more and actually it looks like there's old cobbles, old stones, like part of an old road that has been reclaimed now by the wilderness. But that leads up to a set of gates. And this gate here is wide enough for a cart or a wagon to go through with a horse.
Gotcha.
So probably 2 horses abreast pulling a wagon could go through that gate. And that again looks closed, and from what you can see, it looks like there are chains on the outside of this gate.
Okay.
You didn't notice whether there was any chains or not over here, but definitely on this gate here, you do see chains.
Okay.
And make me, as you get here, go ahead and anybody who's with Min, make me an observation or intelligence check again. Okay. Min and Talon. Mm-hmm. You notice as you're around the gate, or when you get out in front of the gate over here, you notice that you don't hear because they're not making any noise, but you see a couple of ravens flap to the top of the wall over the gate.
Okay.
And just appear to be looking in your direction. They're not making any noise or anything.
Okay. She kind of keeps one eye on them. Oh, I'm sorry. So she keeps one eye on them, and then kind of makes sure she points that out to her companions, kind of like, okay, now they're being quiet, but they're watching us. This still unnerves me.
Ravens are very smart.
Oh, I know they're very smart. It's just, I also have heard stories told about how others can look through their eyes and, AKA witchcraft. Don't know how it would be done, but I've heard that there's stuff that they can do stuff like that.
Well, next time we see Arcturus, I'm sure he could tell you all about it.
No.
Okay.
Jerk.
Then as you continue around, there don't appear to be any gates on this side.
Okay.
And then the only other doorway of any kind that you notice is there's actually, oh, that's weird. Okay, so no, there's not another doorway. There's no entry into the tower from outside the walls. There's an entry to the tower from inside the wall, but not from outside. Okay, never mind. So those are the only two ways you can see of getting in, unless you wanted to, of course, try to climb the tower. That might be possible to do.
Yeah, but is it worth the risk?
I'm sure with the ravens there would be perfectly safe.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you wouldn't hurt the ravens at all by climbing up the tower. Be perfectly safe for them.
Yeah, for them. Probably not for me.
But don't you always land on your feet?
I'm not a cat anymore.
So what do you guys think? Try the little door on the west side?
Are you coming back to the edge of the woods to talk to us, or are you just consulting up front?
We're chatting as we walk back to you.
Well, it's a shame we don't have a catapult. We could just throw the dwarf over the wall.
That's funny.
When you do get back, I'm going to ask Quint if they look like normal ravens, and if so, if he could try to befriend one of them. If they're do you communicate at all? Can you get information? If you get to know it at all, or how does that work? I don't know a lot about rangers.
I think they're too far away for me to try and persuade to do one thing or another. I've got to be able to get kind of close to them, and I'm guessing too these are probably trained. My instincts would say that they're not necessarily acting like normal ravens would, especially since they got quiet once we put those cloaks on. So I think they would be a little harder to befriend and try and not manipulate, but persuade to leave us alone. I mean, we could try shooting them with arrows, but I don't know how that might go down in the end either.
I think they're ravens of Klingaden.
And why do you say that?
Well, he wants everything to belong to Klingaden, so I just thought I would boost his ego a little bit.
Well, I appreciate the help, and I put my hand on your shoulder and I pat it, and I really think that you're being quite kind. Thank you. Any kind of a natural creature could be a follower of Klingaden, and I agree. The wolves, the ravens. If some evil is using these ravens against the forces of good, of course we should free them. I'm a dwarf. The sarcasm might have gone over my head. I'm short.
Obviously. And the rest of us are. I'm giving them, both of them, a dirty look. Like, are you kidding me? Did you just say that? Did you just get him going on that? Ugh.
My regular clerical brothers could talk to the birds, but I don't have that. I don't walk that path.
Well, I guess here's the first question. Do we even want to try and go in through one of these doors, or do we want to do something else? I mean, go back to, continue on the old trail and head to Gnoll to see what's there. I mean, do you want to poke in the outer wall and look around and see?
I think we should go inside.
I think we should go to that side gate you mentioned and go inside.
Yeah, I mean, from what we could tell, Mr. GM, it looked like it had been used recently, or at least regularly in the near past.
You guys were probably, I don't know, about 50, 60 feet away from it, so it would be hard to tell from there.
I'm going to ask the Gnolls and ask the chief if he and his friends smelled any fresh people or scents of hobgoblins or bugbears or humans that have been around the paths they just walked in the last day, because the smell might still be there.
And he will talk to his men who have done a couple of circuits. They did a couple of circuits in the time it took the PCs to do one walk around, looking and observing everything, and they kind of trotted a couple of times around the outside of the clearing in the woods, and they say only fresh humanoid scent we find is ours. There are other track to the west leading through woods, but not used in at least a couple of days. Not recent enough for scent to be fresh.
Bless you, brother. And then I think it was Talon who said we should go inside. And I think you're right. I think it would be good to go inside.
Now I'm not so sure he agreed with me.
Let's go before we can really think too deeply about this.
We want to go through the big gate or the little gate?
Let's try the little gate.
All right.
Okay, that's not the scale. Okay, so what I need to do is sorry, Casca, but I'm gonna take you off of the map for right now, and then I'm gonna go over here, and I'm going to oh joy, that's right. This is what I get for trying to be clever. Okay, I can do this. I was going to group them, but then I realized they're on the same layer as the map background. And trying to grab them is going to grab everything on the map. All right, so now I'm going to go back to the main level, and I am going to draw some detail that will be of more use to us. So let me put the... Oops. Let me get rid of that. And I will do this and this. Then we will okay, so if we come on, there we go. So if we say this is our wall, which is not quite that thick, it's probably about 10 feet thick, so that's about 2 squares thick. And then the actual gate area over here is... Yeah, okay, there's a little pathway. And that pathway goes up to the door. The door is about right there. Okay. All right, so now we can put you guys out on the map, and you will be... So... you will be in the proper scale. So, Nico, Archimedes. All right, and then we'll put Arcturus out there. We'll leave him up here. Then we'll get our Gnoll. And we'll get our Gnoll leader. And then we'll get... let me go back to the forest. No, bandit camp. Okay, let me get to the... Where is our bandit leader? Copy him and bring him back over here to where you guys are. That's why, because I changed his token name to mercenary or merc leader instead of bandit. That's why I couldn't find him. All right. Then we'll just make a bunch of copies of these gnolls. So you guys have what you had. You left 2 gnolls, so you have 6 gnolls and the leader. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, 6 leader or 6 gnolls and a gnoll leader. All right, that's 7. Okay, so you guys are standing out in front of a footpath or a gate that gets you through the wall. This gate is inset. Let me 2, Okay. All right. Yeah, the gate, as you come up to it, it doesn't look like there's a chain on the gate, but it does look like there are the remnants of some iron ring bolts that were driven into the masonry at the side at either side of this door. And so those ring bolts would be probably things that you might anchor something like a chain to. There is no evidence of a chain at this time. And there is a mechanism on the door that looks newer than the rest of the door, where it's like from this side, a latch and a handle. There's no obvious keyhole or anything, but there are scars on the wood where it looks like something had been anchored, and whatever it was has been pulled off or pried off or pulled out.
Are there any ravens on the wall directly in front of us?
No.
Okay.
The ravens kind of watched you walk around, but they, now that you are approaching the tower, or now that you are approaching the gate, they don't seem terribly interested in you.
I look at Talon. Like, do you see any traps?
Well, let me go look.
Okay. Go ahead and... Oh, let me pull up Talon's character sheet. And
we're not underground, but if it's stonework on the walls, I'll see if there's any sliding stonework pieces, but it's not that likely.
Okay. You're in... yeah, so let's see. Go ahead and you can make your find traps check.
Again?
Oh, okay. I see. You did make it. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't notice any traps.
I don't see any traps. I'm gonna check to see if the door's locked.
Okay. Yeah, there is a latch on the outside that can be moved to probably open the door. It's not like a knob, but it's more like a handle of some kind that you would use to open the door. You don't see any hinges on this side, so you would imagine that the door opens inward.
Well, I'll lift or pull the latch and push.
Okay. You try to move the latch and it doesn't move. It feels like it is locked from the other side.
Oh, well, that's nice. So the door feels locked from the other side.
Yep.
Oh, I tell them.
So do we want to try the other door, or do you want to up and over the wall and unlock it from the other side?
The one with the chain, did it have a big lock on it?
Probably.
You couldn't, from the distance you guys were, you couldn't see if there was a lock on the chain, but you definitely, the chain was large enough and heavy enough that you could see the chain from the distance that you were.
How tall is the wall here?
The walls here are about 15 feet high. And
we had a grappling hook.
Hey guys, I can't help you. Don't have one of those.
Oh, what? The bar does.
Grappling hook.
I could try to climb the wall.
Yeah, Talon, looking at the wall, this is stonework that has eroded irregularly, and there are places where it's kind of like climbing a natural cliff that has, eroded places that you could find, purchase to grab onto or to put a foot on. Of course, it being eroded, you don't know what that means, but then again, Talon is probably the lightest of the party. So he would be...
You could throw him over.
Hey, ain't nobody flinging me. Fling the door.
Throw me over.
It's only 15 feet out. We could throw the grappling hook up, have it catch, and climb up that way.
Let's try it.
You gonna try to throw the grappling hook up? Or do you want me to try to climb it?
Yeah.
Grappling hook. I've got a grappling hook and...
These are no fun.
2 50-foot pieces of rope.
Okay.
And
yeah, you have plenty of rope that you could toss the hook up and try to hook it to the top or hook it to the other side. If you need to.
Yeah, swing it around and punch it up and over.
Okay. Make me a ranged attack roll. And make it when it asks you if there's any kind of situational modifier, make it at a -4.
Worst case scenario, if this doesn't work, then Talon can climb up with the grappling hook and the rope and then attach it.
Okay. All right. Yes. Okay. Great. The grappling hook goes up and it goes over the top of the wall, and you pull on it, and it pulls tight. So you've got good purchase on the other side of the wall.
Nice.
And you actually managed to do it pretty quietly as well.
Okay.
That was part of the reason you were rolling an attack roll.
Perfect, yeah. I didn't hit the side of the wall on my first toss.
Yeah, or you didn't have it go clank, 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 clank.
And the gnolls are 6 feet tall, so they can help lift you the first part of the way.
Well, all we need is one person over, right? Because we think it's just the door that we need to do. So yeah, the lightest, quietest person go over and unlock the door.
Okay. Is Talon interested in being the only one going up and over the wall?
I don't care. I'll go.
Quint will ready his bow and kind of I don't know where you're going to climb, but stand up back a little bit, and just in case the ravens or something else, you see something that might be a problem for Talon.
Nico, before Talon goes over, offers to follow him over if he wants to have backup.
I don't know. Let's see what I see from the top of the wall.
Okay. All right. Now, climb walls. You can go ahead and make a climb wall check, and because you have a rope and a grappling hook, I'm gonna give you. No, do you have armor on or not?
I do have leather.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a 25% 25% bonus. So you're trying to roll, I believe, an 80 or below, because with leather you've got a 55% chance at this level of climbing walls.
Archimedes would do it, but he is wearing chainmail leather armor.
I didn't subtract the 25%.
That's fine. Okay, well, you climb up, and you start climbing, and you get about 10 feet up, and climbing with this rope is very easy. And so you kind of start to get a little bit sloppy, and you put all of your weight, you're shifting your hand on the rope, you put all of your weight on your foot, and a loose piece of masonry gives way, and Talon loses his grip on the rope and falls 10 feet and hits the ground.
This wall was obviously built by dwarves.
Can I try?
Hold on. We need to find out how much damage he takes from falling. So let's see.
What happens when you let them do it?
So falling. 87, I believe. Okay. 87. Okay. No. It's not that. It must be 139. Falling. Okay. 1d6 for every 10 feet. Okay.
Ouch.
So, yep. Yeah, there are different editions of the game where they change that. So I always have to double check. All right. So Talon, you take 4 points of damage from the fall, and you feel like you wrenched your shoulder when you hit the ground. Oh.
Nico will immediately do first aid for him, and I can get. I've got my healer's poultices pouch, which gives me a +1 to. I can do up to 1d3 hit points back within forget how many rounds of someone taking damage.
Yeah, you can just run right up to him within the first round and get to him and help him. So go ahead and roll your 1d3 to see how many points of
What's
damage.
the command again? Is it exclamation point or?
No, /R space 1d3.
Okay. And I forget if my healing kit gives. I think it gives me +1s to stuff, but I'm not sure.
Okay. We'll have an opportunity for you to look that up right now because it's the top of the hour and we're going to go ahead and take our break. So I have 1 minute after the hour. Let's go ahead and take a break. Nico can verify whether he gets extra bonus from that healer's kit or not. And then we will come back and we will pick up after that. Viewers, thank you guys for hanging out with us. I am going to change the sound set back to music.
Are we getting an extra hour since we changed back the time today?
That's not till 2:00 tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Someone to spoil my right.
That's not until 2
Hey,
o'clock
you
in the
guys
morning.
keep ignoring me, so.
All right. Then I'm going to go ahead and put on the epic combat music and bring that sound up for the benefit of stream. Set the timer, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
Does anyone have the arms and equipment book? Because I don't have that book or PDF with me.
Nope.
What was that?
I wondered if anyone had the supplemental text for the edition arms and equipment, because that's the one the healer's pouch came out of, and I don't have that book.
I don't think I do. Oh, you know what I do?
All right. So, chat, what you guys are hearing, the music that you heard at the break and at the beginning of the session, this is from Sirenscape, and this particular sound set is music called Epic Combat Music from the Classic Adventure sound set of Sirenscape. So that is the music you were hearing, and during the session you were hearing some ambient background of forest, and then when they got to the clearing, something called the mountain soundscape, which is like the closest thing I could find to what we really wanted. So all right, we're going to dispense with the music, go back to the session.
I could record the crows outside my house because I probably have a murder out there.
All right, so yes, all right, so thank you, Casca. Did you see that, Joe?
Yes, I saw that. It affects the rolls.
Yep. So +1 bonus to your chance to heal the victim. Let's see, does it? But I guess it.
In the PHB, it describes healing for like there's rolls for dealing with poison and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it's the way I'm reading the description of this healer's bag, to me it seems like it makes it easier to succeed, but I don't see where it gives any bonus hit points.
I agree with you.
Yeah, okay, all right. Because I could have sworn at some point we had found something that said that it gives a bonus to healing or to the
herbalism
damage healed.
Overnight healing.
Okay, all right. Well, so Talon, you get one hit point back from the immediate healing.
That's fine.
It does say I have to make a successful proficiency check if you want me to roll.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and make that check.
Going to it. And with a +1, it's going to be, I have to roll a 20 to fail.
Okay.
Oh, 19, sorry, click it up +1.
Oh, hey, critical success. So, hey, guess what? You do get an extra point of healing. So you get 2 points of healing.
That's awesome.
Yes. If a system is going to punish you for a critical failure, I think it ought to reward you for a critical success. So it doubles the hit points you rolled. You rolled 1, so you get 2 back.
And it's expensive to buy healing and herbalism. They're 2 non-weapon proficiency slots each.
Yeah. All right. So, Talon, your shoulder feels a little better. It's going to be sore in the morning, maybe, unless Nico puts one of his patented liniments on it overnight while you sleep. But it's good for now. Your arm isn't going to fall off. You'll probably have a bruise tomorrow. But if you want to, you could try again, or somebody else could try going over the wall.
Can I try?
Who wants to try? Let her try.
It might be worthwhile also to call over a couple of the gnolls. They're like 6 to 8 feet tall. they could totally help you people get to that 10-foot point easily, quickly. And then you only got about 5 feet to climb, so just make it a little bit easier.
That was pretty much the plan.
Or they could catch her like crowd surfing.
That's also a great idea. So they could be a safety net.
Okay, why is my computer system has slowed down completely to a screeching halt?
I was worried today that I had picked up a virus on one of my computers. And then I realized it was just Windows being helpful. I was checking for something, and I saw this strange icon I hadn't noticed before sitting in my start menu. PC health check. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't remember downloading anything called PC health check. Why is that there? So I did a quick Google search, PC health check, and the first result is, oh yes, this is a helpful thing that Microsoft is putting out to let you know whether your computer can be upgraded to Windows 11. It's so nice that they just included it and installed it in an app with a recent Windows update. It's like, oh, thank you, Microsoft. You're so thoughtful.
Would
Yes.
you be able to get into my character sheet and roll for me? Because I'm getting the circling purple thing of doom right now.
Okay. All right. Yes, I can. Okay, and what are we rolling for you?
I was rolling. Well, basically, first I'm calling over the gnolls to give me a boost, and then climb up the rest of the way and scramble over.
Okay. Since you are not a rogue, you don't have a skill, so this is just going to be. I think it's going to be a straight strength check. Okay, so
and the gnolls are going to try to catch her if she falls.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and roll a strength check for Min. And we're going to give her a modifier. You get because of the rope, you get a +2. Now, if that goes the wrong way, I'll read it as a -2, but I'm going to try it with a +2. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's right. That works.
She scurries over.
So yeah, you grab a hold of the rope, and that grappling hook is nice and secure, and you climb up the rope, and you get to the top of the wall. And now you're at the top of the wall, and there's a grappling hook. And if you want to get down the other side of the wall, there's a 15-foot drop, or you can try to climb down the other side of the wall.
Okay. So, what am I seeing other than just a drop? What's on the other side of the wall?
Okay. On the other side of the wall.
Do you have a rope with you, or? No, because if you don't,
unfortunately, I can't even look right now because I'm not even getting the swirling bar of doom anymore. It's just blank.
Okay.
If not, then I would throw her the other 50-foot of rope.
Okay.
Just regular, and then she could tie that to grappling hook rope. Use that to shimmy down or do whatever.
Okay.
Or if there's nobody on the other side, she could tie that rope around her waist, and we could lower her down from this side slowly so she doesn't fall.
Because it's 50 foot, so that would be 30 feet and then whatever extra.
Yeah, you get a good look at the walls of the temple proper, and they appear mostly intact. There's not any, there's some scarring on the walls, but there's no places that the walls are caved in or anything like that. There's no gaping holes or anything in the walls. But the ground all around the place is overgrown by weeds. So you get the chance that once you get down on ground level, you're going to have a little bit of an obscured view because the weeds have grown up so high in here.
Okay.
There are a couple of areas, and I need to go to this other page to tell you what the... no, there we go. All right. As you look to your north and to the east, there is what appears to be an orchard that is within the walls, but to the north of the temple proper.
Okay.
And it extends east and west. And these are usk trees. And so the pale blue usk fruit growing on the trees is small, misshapen, and splotched with angry red patches. And that's definitely not the way a healthy usk fruit looks.
Right.
And the trees are also showing some of the same, issues that the trees at the edge of the clearing are.
Okay. What's it smell like?
There is a faint scent of decay here.
Okay. Nothing stronger than what we've already encountered?
Nothing stronger than what you've already encountered.
Okay. So at that point in time, then Min catches the rope when it's tossed to her, drops down part of it, and then makes sure that you guys are keeping it tight around you guys or someone. And then...
that someone's holding the other end.
Yes. And just lowering me down, basically, or giving me something to hold on to while I'm doing so. And but before she kind of goes up over the edge, she kind of looks down at you guys and goes, well, it's lots of weeds, and she names the fruit tree and will say, it doesn't look healthy, it looks misshapen, so kind of the same over on this side.
Can you see the door from looking over the edge of the wall up there? Can you see if it's got locked or if it's blocked off?
No, because the door is inset in both sides of the wall. It's about in the middle of the wall. So from her vantage point at the top of the wall, she can't see it. She'd have to drop down to ground level to see the door. Or at least climb partway down the rope to see it.
Do you want to tie the rope around your waist so in case we need to, we can pull you over fast?
Sure. So she ties it around her waist and kind of like, okay, over and around. Okay, I'm good to go. And then she goes ahead and heads over the edge and kind of grabs by her fingertips as her little shoes or whatever she's wearing kind of fine. Is it smooth or is it rough stone?
It's rough on both sides.
Okay.
They'll
Then yeah, she'll like as she starts.
And you're holding on to the rope as well.
Yes, I'm holding on to the rope with both hands, but kind of using the her toes to find purchases in the little nooks and crannies to make sure she's not swinging wildly about.
Okay. All right. Did your character sheet ever finally open for you or not?
Yeah. Hey, God.
Hey,
I'm so sorry. I was outside today and I got fresh air and now I'm all yawny. Okay, what am I rolling?
You go ahead and roll a strength check.
Am I negative or anything?
Add +2 to it.
Okay.
And it is a +2. Yeah. Okay. Great. So that works. Yes. So you lower yourself down without incident and reach the ground. And now as you look at the door, there is in fact a lock plate on this side and a locking mechanism.
Like it would need a key?
Like it would need a key or someone who has the ability to bypass locks without a key.
Like a thief?
Yeah, like a scout or a rogue. Or
a good, honest person. That's who.
A good, honest person. All right. Let me see here. So, can I see through the locking mechanism out to the other side? Kind of like through the keyhole?
No, because there's no keyhole on the other side.
Oh, okay.
There's no lock plate on the other side.
Okay.
If there had been, I could have unlocked it. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So,
all right. So hold on, Min. While you're looking at that, Talon, tell everybody what they see.
Oh, okay. Well, Talon just starts, basically goes up the wall and he just starts climbing up it and over it.
Okay. So give us a little bit more description.
Well, like you can see he's not really like grabbing the hold. He's just kind of sticking to the wall. It's more like he's crawling, like he would crawl along the ground. He's just crawling up the wall.
Okay.
Stomp on it.
And now, of course, Min, you can't see this, but
I know
everybody else can see this.
Until I come down above her head and tap on.
Yeah. What sort of? Is there any reaction from everybody else? As you see Talon start to shimmy up the wall.
Yeah, she squeals suddenly when there's this tapping behind her.
Okay. It's like that scene in which one? I think it was the second Lord of the Rings movie where Sam and Frodo are there on the edges of Mordor and they look up and they see Gollum crawling down the wall or crawling down the cliff head first towards them.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Min sees. Ah!
Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay.
My precious.
My precious. She's like, don't do that. It scares me.
Okay.
Well, you needed help.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Why didn't you come over the first time instead of falling on your butt?
I tried to use the rope.
Well, what did you use this time?
My enlightened mind.
Uh-huh. Is that what they call that?
Min, it occurs to you that you are aware. It's a spell that you have studied a little bit about because it's related to your web spell, but you may not yet have it in your spell book, but you definitely learned about it in wizard school. There's a spell that wizards can cast. Often it involves eating a live or swallowing a live spider. And it allows them to climb up walls and along ceilings like a spider. And it looks for all the world that this is exactly what Talon has just done. Talon, the same Talon that always says that magic is evil and, that it's going to destroy the world, and yet apparently he's using some kind of magic to do this.
Hey, what are you doing?
That what? Anyway, I'm looking at the lock.
Okay. Well, she's puzzling that out. You look at the lock. Okay. Yeah, it's a relatively current lock. It looks like it's maintained, and it's used. And there is a keyhole where you could fiddle with lock picks and get it in there. Just from looking at it, you don't have any idea how sophisticated a lock is. You figure way out here in the middle of nowhere, it might be really sophisticated and it might not be.
I'm just saying it seems odd to have the keyhole on the inside.
Mm-hmm. You think?
Seems a bit weird to me, but we are in strange places.
Yeah.
Well, I will attempt to open the lock.
Okay, attempt to open the lock. All right. So go ahead and make your roll.
Jesus.
Okay. You work at it, and then you hear and feel a little snap. And you look down and okay, one of your lock picks is broken, but the broken piece is sticking out of the lock, so you can probably pull it out.
Doesn't look good.
Didn't get broken off inside the lock.
Yeah, it ain't no good.
You okay? It wasn't like your mother's best pair of lockpicks, right?
No. It
Didn't
was
have
just
a sentimental value?
It was just cheap dwarven make.
That's so, huh? Okay. You say so.
I got it from the dwarven general store. Anyway. Well, I guess
can you use like a piece of wire, or do you just need a lockpick?
Well, I suppose I could dig around. I probably got a few in here. I can try again, see if maybe I can get it. If not, they're just going to have to climb over the wall.
Well, let's see if you can do it.
What are the odds?
Wow.
So either my system is really slow or you're rolling just to him.
Yeah, it just rolls to him.
Gotcha. Okay.
And two.
I rolled
two
exactly
checks
the
on
same thing.
Oh no.
Yeah. And once again, okay. Oh, you think you got the right tumbler now? Man, that one is a little bit. It's a little bit. Maybe there's something stuck a little bit there. Just give it a little bit and click. Snap. And once again, there's just part of his lockpick is sticking out of the lock now, Min, and the other part of it is in his hand.
Wow, you're just not doing good, are you? I'm sorry. Want to try one more time?
I can, but I probably won't be able to do any if I break another pick.
Yeah, let's see here.
You can do it. You know you can. I have faith in you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that you have a total of 3 lock picks that come in your kit, and then you'd have to replace them by buying another kit at some point. Or
Archimedes knocks at the door.
Or getting somebody to, if somebody has the skill to metallurgically repair your lockpicks, that may be something that somebody in the party can do.
Hello?
We don't want any.
It's Idi Amin. What's taking so long? Are you guys all right?
Yeah, just trying to figure out this old lock. That's all. We'll get it. Just be patient.
Maybe.
And she kind of looks at Talon like, shh.
If this fails, I'm gonna try the crowbar.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, you didn't break a lockpick, but and you didn't bend it, but it just won't budge. And that's all you can do for this lock.
My thief kit does come with a crowbar. I could try to maybe pop it.
Yeah,
with a strength check.
Yeah, you could definitely try that.
Once it fails on your side.
Could you see if you could talk Min through trying the lock with your pick?
No. No, you're a wizard, so unless you have taken some kind of proficiency that allows you to pick locks, it is a class skill in this edition. So it's something. I
figure it was just something that's like, okay, put this in here. Okay, feel around for this.
Mechanically, yes, but the way they do the rules, no. It's something that they reserve only for rogues.
Gotcha.
Or thieves.
It would take him minutes or seconds to do. It would take an untrained person like days to try to figure it out.
Yeah. So, yeah, the other thing you can do is you can use your crowbar and make an open door check.
Well, Min, you want to help me pry on this thing?
Sure.
Okay, hang on. Let me take a look at her thing there. Okay, so
she's stronger than I am, actually.
Well, yeah. So if one of you basically uses, and for this point, it would make more sense for Min to use the crowbar, and if Talon helps you, then you can make an open door check, which is under your attributes tab on the strength row. And then when it asks you for any adjustment, go ahead and give yourself a +2 adjustment.
Okay, so under the attributes tab, under strength.
In the strength row, you have
open door.
Yep, and there's a little die right next to it. You click that die, and it will roll, and it may ask you.
Whoops.
Okay. Okay. No, you get a +2. So 9 + 2 brings it down to a 7. So that's a success. So you put the end of the crowbar in there, wedge it kind of underneath that lock, and you give a little shove, and it doesn't want to see at the first time, and it doesn't want to go, and then you adjust it, and then the end of the crowbar just sort of finds this little place where there's some dry rot in the wood, and as you shove on it, it just sort of fixed in there, and you put pressure on the crowbar, and there's a little popping sound as the lock plate pulls out from the door. And when that happens, the tension on the lock just goes slack, and the door just opens a bit, like about half an inch. So it looks like not only is it unlocked now, but the bolt holding it closed has come out.
Okay.
So
and
you guys
open the door.
Yep. You guys outside hear a little pop or crack, and then the door just opens a tiny bit.
And then peeks an eyeball out. What do you want? We don't want any.
They were saying something about witch earlier. I don't know what their problem is.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go I'm going to take this. I'm going to get rid of this and this and this. And then just sort of as an abstract, I'm going to move you guys away from this area. Whoops. And I am going to draw freehand. Let's take let's draw. It's kind of mostly dead, so we'll use gray. Freehand draw the areas where there's these groves. There's some grove areas over here, and then they kind of go over here and down here, and there's a little bit of, it looks like a really weird key. It's basically what it looks like. Looks like there's and then there's a couple of little areas where there's overgrown, and the darker areas are areas where there's more fruit on the trees. The other trees are mostly dead or sparsely covered with a little bit of fruit. So, not a whole lot there. Oh, and, oops. I need to go I just realized I need to go to this and bring that back there so you guys can see it. So that's what you see. And then there's the temple building here. But as Min reported, when you look in, most of the rest of this area is just all overgrown. And you can just see the tops of the trees and see the walls of the temple proper. So what would you like to do?
What a lovely place.
Yeah.
We can enter?
Yeah. You can if you want.
I'll enter and I'll notice on the right-hand side of the wall, there's a key.
No. No such luck.
Okay.
What you do notice is that the temple itself, now that you can better see it from inside the walls, it does have a couple of features that look like they are stubby little angled wings that, or you would presume there's a couple because you can only see one from this side. Basically on this side here, it's like there's a part of the temple that sort of juts out a little bit.
On which side? The side that we're on, or?
Yeah, okay. The side that you guys are on. And then it sort of comes almost like a shark fin or something, and then hooks in there.
Naturally, or like if something fell?
No. It's part of the edifice of the temple. Okay. And then if we're getting super specific about this, we're gonna say that probably the actual width of the building is probably something like this. So this wing would go and would connect here. Like that. And then at the front of the building, it's actually got a slightly narrower profile. And there are a set of wide, shallow stairs that surround this part of the building, and it looks like those stairs lead up probably to a door here. But all you see on the side of the building facing you is just walls and windows and buttresses. Like those, if you think of an old European Gothic cathedral with the flying buttresses off the side, that's kind of That's kind of the look that this building has. And then this wing out here, and you would presume that there's probably one on the other side, but until you go around the other side, you can't see it. And if I were to actually put your tokens here to scale. Let's see. What is this? Okay, so if we put your tokens to scale here, we would make them 12 by 12 instead of 70 by 70. Because instead of these squares being 5 feet, these squares are 30 feet each. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do that. And then do this. And then that means zoom way in on it. So yeah, I think the maximum we can zoom in on Roll20 is 250%. So so it's still kind of small, but that's basically the size of the building you guys are looking at. Then I can go ahead and I can get rid of that square. Okay, that looks better in terms of the size.
Do we want to look for an opening in this winged area part? Window or other door?
We can try. I don't see why not.
Well, I mean, once Nico say temples are his thing.
True.
So yeah, I wanted to walk around and see if we noticed any like hidden alcoves or anything hidden first, but then we can.
Yeah, walking around the outside this, what would be the west side, the west facade of the temple here, you do not see any doors or openings. You just see those buttresses and the windows, and most of those windows seem to be like the lowest part of the windows is up like 20 feet. As you go more towards the south or look more towards the south, you do notice that those wide steps around the end of the building there, and you will see down here there appear to be, okay, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. Because that'll be, whoops. There appear to be double doors there. And then double doors there. All right. And presumably there would be double doors on the other side.
So I think we should just glance around the other side to make sure we don't see anyone or anything walking around on the outside of this thing before we go in any of those double doors.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Are we all moving as a big, huge group with the Gnolls and everyone, or do we want to leave a contingent of the Gnolls over by the gate as like a rear guard?
I would think all the NPCs would be at the door deal or whatever to help our escape if we're running.
All right, so we've got them as a rear guard?
Yeah. Just have our group do the little scout real quick and then
Sounds good.
Go in wherever we're going to go in.
And then for any of you on type that can like be sneaky, if you want to like listen at the doors to see if you hear anything before we go in.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. All right. So there you go, Archimedes. Whoops. I didn't mean to. Oh, fudge. There we go. Because of course it snaps to the grid.
It's about the season for fudge.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so as you go up and you begin to so you guys were going to go around, or you're going to go around the south end, Nico? Is that what you were thinking?
I think we should go around the north end and look around because I want to make sure that looks like the south end is the more active area. And I'll take the point position unless somebody else wants to be sneaky ahead of us.
So you want to go up by the warped orchard.
Okay, good point. That might not be the best idea. I predict that I'll be attacked by a giant spider because we got attacked by one of those at the moat house once.
Or maybe the fruit trees will attack you.
Maybe.
How dare you eat one of my apples?
Okay.
Well, I'm
All
not
right.
very good at being sneaky, Talon, so I'll follow your lead.
Okay. There, as you move towards the, okay, as with all the raised works of the temple, outlines of this place, okay, okay. Oh no, that's sorry. That's not it. Aha. As you approach the door, the double doors, you see that these doors in fact appear to be sealed, and I am going to give you this little view here. There is a handout that is coming momentarily.
We were given a little bit of history of this through the wizard and everything else from Omelette, right?
Yes.
Okay. We know that they sealed the doors for a reason.
Yes.
And Quint, while we're walking around, did you see any tracks for anyone who's been here recently?
I can try and look.
Okay, so we're going to add handout temple doors. And we'll go to this Grey Hug artwork. Okay, and that is what they look like. You can click on that and enlarge it.
Gibberish.
There's.
It's righty grip.
Yeah. You guys, anybody who wants to, can make a. I guess it would be an intelligence check to see what you can make of those, if anything. Okay. These. Okay, let me go back here. Take a look at rolls. Three tries. 3 successes so far. Everybody can tell that these doors are made of bronze. And the okay, all right. Okay. They are there's heavy iron chains that are between the large rings of the doors. And since all of you succeeded on your checks, you don't necessarily know what they say, but you recognize these symbols as wards of some kind, mystic wards. Min, they're not, strictly speaking, ones that you have come across and used. Mm-hmm. So you would think that maybe they might have been made by somebody who was using divine magic. They might be some kind of clerical wards.
Yeah.
Or something.
I'm like, this isn't my expertise. It looks more like somebody's religion. A religious type.
I could roll a wisdom check on religion. I don't have it I'd have to do it as non-proficient.
Okay. Yeah.
Crusader, I was more focused on weapons and armor as my form of faith, but I've had some religious classes, so I guess non-proficient, so whatever the negatives to that, but I could do whatever minus you want.
I would say that you just make a straight check first, and based on how well or how poorly you do, we'll see. Okay. You beat your score by 2, so that's good enough. Yeah. You don't know precisely the rituals used to make these wards, but you do recognize very powerful wards against evil when you see them. These are ones that they're not ones that clerics of Moradin would use, but they definitely are ones that clerics of Moradin would be capable of using. These look more like probably something that those humans, those guys who worship Saint Cuthbert, they probably would do something like this. And to your eyes as you study them, Min, and to your eyes as you study them, Nico, it appears that these runes have a very faint glow of their own, as though there is still some active magic in these runes.
I pass on that information to the group, explaining that I think these are wards. It's against evil, and there still seems to be some energy in them.
That means we should leave them alone. Yes?
So they're magical wards.
That's what your wizard and your cleric seem to think.
Well, can't you two, Min and Nico, can't you get rid of them?
So these would be the what Lord Byrne told us about, how they chained the gates and they sealed the place to keep the evil inside. This would be the kind of element they would use to seal the evil inside. So yeah, we could probably break open this somehow, maybe hurt ourselves doing it, and then release whatever's inside.
Sounds good.
I think we should.
No, I don't want to do that.
But aren't we here to go inside?
Well, what's our real purpose for inside anyway?
I thought Nico wanted to cleanse this place of its evil. Or was I misunderstanding?
I wanted to come inside of the walls and gate to see what was going on around the building. I didn't necessarily want to go through sealed magical doors that hold back that greater evil.
Okay, we could go through a window.
No, that's not funny.
Possibly. Evil doesn't know how windows work.
Evidently, yeah.
You guys think you're so funny. I think we should wait for what's his bucket to get done messing around with whatever it is he's messing around with.
But there could be treasure in there and books of magic and things that you would want.
I don't really feel comfortable go barging in on something.
I think we should check all three doors to see if any of them, because just because one gate is blocked doesn't mean all the gates are blocked. And see if there's any secret entrances.
You're weird. Why would you block only one and let evil?
Well, somebody may have broke into one. Somebody may have broke in was kind of what I think he was getting at there, man.
Oh. Okay.
So is this door over here where Talon's at the same?
Yep. It's the same. And then as you go around, indeed, you see over here, there is another set of double doors, and they are also chained.
Okay.
So all three of them. And then as you as you go around, there's no other apparent doors on either the east facade or the west facade. And you guys are spending enough time here looking that as you look up at the high windows, you can see that there are bars across those windows. Looks like bars have been set into the masonry of the walls on the outside.
Yeah, I think we should make sure that we wait on this until we've got everybody together. Because one wrong move and we could be in a serious world of hurt.
Okay, Talon, you head up here towards the grove.
Is there anything on the north side of the building there?
No, there's just
a bare wall, or
it's the walls are not bare. They have carvings of like evil looking faces and gargoyles and stuff like that on it.
Yeah, I just meant without
no, there's no doors. There's no doors.
Did Quint ever see any tracks of anyone in here?
Not anything recent. It's just the occasional older boot print. Looks like it's been here for a few days.
Oh, for a few days.
Yeah. And most of those boot prints are near that side entrance that you guys came in.
Okay, but so then there are, but they can't. We're inside. We're just outside.
There were some inside.
All right, so we know that there's somebody else has been in here, which confirms at least some of what we were worried about. So we'll follow, unless Talon was sneaking away without us knowing about it, we'll follow Talon towards.
No, I was just leading the way.
Okay. All right. So as you get over here, where is the exterior building ruins. The okay. Where is the Okay, the grove. Like I said, the fruit on the trees that do have fruit, they are unhealthy looking. And now that you get up really close to them, you can see that some of the fruit on the tree looks like it has putrefied while it's still on the tree. Got like signs of rot on some of the fruit, and the fruit that doesn't look like it's completely rotten has discolored patches on it of something.
I'm not touching that.
Okay.
Me either.
Right.
Do I have any like more specific knowledge about the types of trees or the types of rock? Because I have the herbalism proficiency.
Yes. So let's take gray. Let's do this. Gray hawk. Okay. Let's see. Usk. Okay. Yeah. Normally, you would know that these are usk fruit trees, and normally a healthy usk tree is a thick, tall hardwood with huge oblong leaves and an edible fruit, which is loved by most creatures. And it can be harvested and used as a food. It can also be fermented, and there are elves. Of course, elves would ferment it and make wine with it. Humans are known to put it in to distill it and to make a hard liquor out of it.
Brandy.
Something like a brandy that they will make out of it. It has a sweet taste with a hint of tart. It doesn't have as much tartness to it as like citrus does. So it doesn't have like that tang like an orange or a grapefruit or anything like that. But it's sweet. And the flesh of the fruit is normally it grows in 4 lobes, and those lobes can easily be separated and peeled and eaten individually. And then, of course, it can also be used in cooking and salads and all that other kind of stuff. But these trees are anything but healthy looking. They're stunted, so instead of being 50 to 60 feet tall like they should be, the tallest ones are maybe close to 30 feet tall. Any of them that have leaves on them, the leaves are sort of withered. There's some of them have some patches of green, but most of the leaves are kind of brown. And the ripe usk fruit is, for Joe's knowledge, the ripe usk fruit is usually about as large in diameter as a grapefruit, but these are much smaller. They're probably in diameter the size of a tangerine. And they normally are bright blue and very aromatic. There is some of the blue rind that you can see, but that's been discolored and has this stuff on it. In terms of what kind of disease or rot this may be, it's not anything you've seen. And for your benefit, there we go. So, Talon's not touching the fruit.
Neither has been.
Anybody?
Nah, I'm not going to take one.
Yeah. But thanks.
That's just a severe looking hands-off thing.
I will look as we're walking around, looking around, and see if there's any like holes dug in the ground, because maybe there's like a subterranean, like someone dug a tunnel from over here into the evil area to bypass the wards, and that's why this area is corrupted.
Okay. Yeah. As you're walking around, you don't notice anything. Now, keep in mind that because of all the overgrown brush, your line of sight here is about half of one of these squares. So your line of sight is about 15 feet. Okay. Couple of you want to go over to the wall and head down towards the tower.
Yes.
Yes. Go in the tower.
Okay. As you get towards the tower, all right. As you go forward, you will see evidence that there is a door. And now I can go and take you back to this map. And we can go back to a more normal magnification. Okay, so okay, so keep in mind here what you are seeing. You are seeing, since it's not terribly evident, you are seeing that this is the east wall. Okay. And then this up here is the north wall. I'm not going to draw everything all the way out, but just to give you an idea. Come on. There are some things with Roll20 that are better. They're not necessarily as well done as they could be. Okay, now you guys are to scale with the tower. Okay.
Do we want to call it a night there? Since it's 9:26.
Okay.
I mean, before we do anything with the tower.
We're not going to storm it?
Well,
Storm the
next
tower.
week.
Yeah, next week we can storm the tower.
Hopefully we'll have our full contingent.
Yeah, hopefully. And
I'm thinking Nico and our tourists just go straight through the door and we all follow them.
Sounds like a plan to me. As long as I don't have to go first.
Okay. All right. So there you guys are. And Nico, or I'm sorry, Talon, just to let you know, as you get to this point, what you see in terms of the doorway, there is one heavy door, and this door is right in the corner between the two walls. It appears to be barred and chained shut from the outside. Arrow slits are visible on either side of the door, but they are dark. So there's no light inside the tower. You're just looking into, you know, from however far away you are, you're just looking at dark arrow slits.
Sweet.
Okay. And is that where we want to leave it for tonight?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a good stopping point.
Okay. All right. Well, congratulations, guys. You have gotten to the ruins of the Temple of Elemental Evil. You have found the main temple complex barred and warded, apparently as the people who were here before left it. This tower appears to have locks on the outside of the door, but there's definitely somebody took the chains off of that side door and has been in here. So how many people have been in here, what they have been doing, who knows? But we can find out next week. All right,
And our story continues.
Yes. And I am going to go ahead and bring back the music. All right. Viewers, thank you all for hanging out with us. Players, thank you so much for joining us tonight and playing. Hope you enjoyed the session. Hope everybody had fun. If I was looking today, and I don't think I sent a message, but if you check the treasure and experience sheet, I did update that from last week's session. So
Yes.
double check and see where we are. Now, do we still have some people who are second level, or is everybody third level now?
I think everybody
I'm above third. Yeah.
just over third level, or
I'm fourth level rogue.
Okay. So I'll have to double check with Arcturus and see, or with Marcel, and see if he's gotten enough to go to third level yet or not. He may be the only person that's still second. So the reason that I ask, and the reason I want to keep track of that, is I'm following some suggested baseline guidance for how much experience to award each session. And then obviously, depending on what everybody does, there's potential experience from combat or exploration or whatever over and above that. So when you see the experience points awards, it is based on usually based on who the lowest level member of the party is, and a formula that's based on that. So then as everybody rises, once there's no longer any second level characters, then by following the formula that they give you, that baseline XP needs to ratchet up a little bit. So I want to try to keep on that, because otherwise it then starts feeling like it takes forever to get enough experience to level. And I don't want it to feel that way, especially when you guys are rolling around with a bunch of NPC retainers that soak up some of your combat XP. All right. So coming up here on this channel, we have no game tomorrow. Monday night, I will be doing Monster Monday. That will be the Tomb Tapper. It's a type of construct. We'll be looking at its history, D&D, and ways of using it in your campaigns, and tactics that you can use if you ever wind up running into one of those lovely things. Then Thursday night, we have our Sword Coast Chronicles game. And then we're back next Saturday for the Saturday night Greyhawk game. Now, I told the Thursday night team that on the 25th, which is actually Thanksgiving, we're not going to play on Thanksgiving night for the Thursday night game. I'll probably double check with you guys next Saturday, and then once again the following Saturday. Want to try to figure out how many people may be traveling over Thanksgiving weekend, or are hosting family and have other kinds of commitments. I'm expecting that may be a weekend where all the games just don't happen because of, of all of, family stuff and everything going on. And definitely if there's a lot of people that aren't available, I don't want to try to have a game, because it makes people think they have to choose, which is you should not do. If you have family plans, you should always go and do those. So we'll find out more about that next week. And viewers, thanks so much for hanging out. I'm going to go ahead and shut off the stream. Take care. Have a great week. We hope we see you on some of the other streams, and we hope we see you again next